Okay, so this is the second video where we take the chords that we've learned to make from the scale of C into the key of C, giving us our chords C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished and C. And we're now going to play a very popular chord progression using 4 of the chords that we've learned, and we're going to put them together. And this is fairly difficult at first. You take it really slow. So even though this exercise is not particularly fast, you may need to do it a lot slower than the one that's here. And the idea is just to get used to moving that one shape that you've learned, and you'll see it on the keyboard here as it's being played. And you're going to use that one shape to move between the different positions to make this chord progression. So this is the first chord progression, C, G, A minor and F, and this is what it sounds like. Okay, so it's a very famous and popular chord progression, and you can already probably hear that it sounds fairly familiar. And the idea will be to get used to playing that chord progression, and you're actually playing it so that there's 4 beats between each chord. So you're going to hear the click when it clicks in, it's 4 clicks. And if I keep that click going, you can hear the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can hear there's 4 beats between. So when you're practicing, whether you're doing it with a video or just on your own, try and get used to counting 4 beats and coming in on the first chord with the first beat. And if you're not getting it, slow it down. You can use a metronome. That really does help keep the time. And that would be the best way to start learning these shapes, is just to try and string them together with 4 beats between each one. So this is here a 4/4. This is what that means. It means there's 4 beats to each bar. And obviously these notes that we're seeing are actually playing it's ringing for the whole bar. But if you need to leave early to get to the next shape, just get it to ring as long as possible. So this is just an example, but you can play around with this and have a lot of fun. So that's with the right hand. Now let's look at the left hand. The left hand is going to do just exactly the same thing. The difference is obviously you're going to lay your thumb. So if we've got the first chord here of C, your thumb would be on the G, and then you lay out your 5 fingers accordingly, and the fingers that are rested on G and C will be playing the chord, just like you did with the right hand. So let's have a look at that then. The same chord progression, but we're on the bass clef, so therefore we're going to be playing with the left hand below middle C. Okay, so that's with the left hand. And the important thing is that one hand will be weaker than the other. So it depends on where your strength is, whether it's the right or the left hand. So work more on the weakness so that you can even out between the 2 hands. And it's really important, especially for this style of playing piano, that you work on the chords and the left and right hand, because a lot of songs, the chords are spread between both hands, and sometimes there's different patterns being played in each hand, so it can get quite complex. So if you get the foundation of being able to change confidently, like I said, with the 4 beats between each chord, that will really help a lot. So anyway, let's move on, and this is the last part of the exercise, this first one, where we're going to string the chords together in a progression. And what we're doing now is we're playing with the left hand playing the C, and these are minims. These are basically 2 beat notes, and that means that each chord will have 2 beats between them. Now obviously there's a set speed here at 65 BPM, which is You can see here, I'll just bring it around, so it's 65. But you can play this at your own tempo, own speed, as long as you try and keep even beats. So try and count to 1, 2, and try and make sure that you play on that first one of every 2. Now, ideally, if you can count it 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll make your life easier later. But it is literally 2 beats per chord here, and that's 2 beats with the left hand, and then 2 beats with the right hand. So if I click on the C here, you can see the left hand fingering coming up below middle C. And then once the 2 beats are up, we're on to the a middle C upwards on the right hand. And then we're going to bounce back between left and right hand as we move along. Obviously, learning the names of the notes as you go is quite important, but you can use the chord diagram below to work with you on naming those notes as well. So there you go. So we're going to start here and listen to this exercise. So there you go. So what we've covered really is a very popular chord progression in the key of C, taken from those chords that we built, put together, 4 beats per bar, where you're literally making them ring for the 4 beats per bar in the key of C on the right hand, and then the left hand. And then we're doing the same here, but we're basically playing the left hand for 2 beats, the right hand for 2 beats, and now we're starting to put both hands together, and that can be quite complex. You might want to work individually on these first 2 exercises for some time. So this one here, a little bit more complex, so take your time with it, practice it very slowly. But once you get used to this chord progression, you get used to these shapes, it's going to be a lot easier then obviously to move into other keys, other chords and other progressions, because the technique that you're building up is going to be used throughout. Okay, so have a good one, good luck with that, and I'll see you soon.